Okay, welcome back to Factorio. I have played quite a bit since the last video. Quite a bit indeed. My playtime for this save is 35 hours. That's, it doesn't count pauses or anything like that. So 35 hours. And we are approaching the end. I'm going to beat it in this video. That's a certainty. There's no like will he won't he kind of thing. Um so oh god, what is oh man, something is just oh that copper mine is fucked. Well that sucks, but I'll never get there in time, so largely irrelevant. As I'll head over there. So, as you can see, I mean, things are, things get a little crazy in the later game with your character, with your base, with basically everything. Good lord. We've got the drones, of course. We've had drones for a long time, and they're great. I'm wearing Power Armor Mark II, which is the best armor you can get for yourself. It's very nice. We have it loaded up with a couple portable fusion reactors, some personal laser defenses, energy shields, exoskeletons. And let's take a look at the personal laser defenses. Yep. Yeah, those things are insane. If we just wander over into like a nest or something, where's what? No, I didn't kill them all. Oh no, the laser got it. Okay. We just wander over into a nest. And this is automatic. I don't have to press any buttons. I don't have to aim. I don't have to do anything. It's pretty nuts. And you could put more lasers in, of course. But I don't know. It seems unnecessary at this point. Now, eventually, I guess they do evolve. The bugs keep evolving and get bigger. There's like some gargantuan stuff. And I went out, I spent like 30 minutes just going around and clearing every nest I saw. Because this also, the lasers also function while in your car. So you can just drive around in a circle around a nest and just slaughter everything. It's insane. So yeah, I spent like 30 minutes doing that because, apparently killing nests increases the evolution rate. But I still have yet to see any of the big, gigantic ones. The nests do get fairly big the further out you go. This one's decently sized, but there was some that with like 20 spawners in them that were pretty crazy. And I think, yeah, if you eventually keep playing and keep expanding and all that, they probably, like, the numbers of the bugs that come in waves is probably insane, from what I've heard. Like, you're talking, like, hundreds of bugs simultaneously attacking you. And if you look at, like, the video, like, the little clips that play on the main menu, you can see some scenes of, like, a lot of bugs happening. But... you remember, remember when I was talking about, like, people building mega bases and things like that, and just going all out, and it's like, haven't you beaten the game by that point? Yeah, it does not take much to actually beat Factorio. I mean, you can tell that because the world record is an hour and 25 minutes. There's an achievement on Steam to beat the game in under 8 hours. Just beating the game does not take a whole lot. And in fact, this whole design and like all the work that's been put into this base is sort of overkill for just beating the game. You don't need all of this. Like, here's my nuclear setup. I tried out nuclear because I wanted to try out just a lot of different things so I could experience stuff. So this is my nuclear setup. It's got 4 nuclear reactors and just loads of turbines, heat exchangers. We're constantly pumping in uranium ore and converting it into fuel. This apparently... My setup for centrifuges is shit, so it got clogged again. Although, why is this not even... Oh, I ran out of iron. That would do it. Yeah, okay. This is all completely unnecessary. When this was fully running, actually, yeah, I think when it was fully running, it generated like 900 megawatts or something like that. Like, it was insane. Each one of these is 5.82 megawatts times 84. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. I guess 606 megawatts is our max production rate. But here's the thing that you can see. I am using up like 105 of that. And that is entirely generated by my solar panels. Because I have 3 solar fields. And those 3 generate all the power that I need currently. And I could easily just plop down a blueprint for another, like, 5 of them. And it would be no problem. So nuclear are just kind of unnecessary. Unless you're really going crazy. Or you just want to do something different, you don't want solar, whatever. But solar is so easy, and, I mean, like I said, you never have to touch it. And once you have, like, just a production setup for panels and batteries, and you got construction robots, it's just so simple to expand. But nuclear, I mean, it's cool. I liked nuclear in... Oh, nice. 200,000 iron plates per hour. I like nuclear in RimWorld with that mod. I probably like that mod better. It was more involved. This is fairly simplistic in comparison, but... I'm not sure why these pumps never got built. I guess that's probably my fault. Anyway, like I said, I don't need any of the nuclear, so it was just an experiment. You know, I might do it in the future. If you just want to skip solar entirely and go from boilers and steam engines to nuclear, it's not really that difficult. Once you've researched it, all you really need is the uranium ore, and you can put it all together. Although, I mean, the production of the actual, like, nuclear reactors and centrifuges and stuff, it is costly. It's a lot of, like, steel and concrete and stuff like that. But, again, like anything else, once you set up the production chain and automate it, everything's pretty simple. So the side effect of the uranium stuff is you get... access to uranium ammo. So I actually have not messed around with any of it. But I should have some uranium bullets. There you go, 600. So let's go outside. And I want to test out these uranium bullets, and I want to show you the combat shotgun, which is really fucking sweet. I discovered it, and I thought it was like the fucking bee's knees. I thought it was so cool. And then I discovered the personal lasers, and it's like, well, You don't really need anything else, I guess. But I guess if you bum rush... hold on. Where does the combat shotgun fall under? Right here. Military 3. So once you get blue and black, which is not that difficult, you can just grab the combat shotgun. It's really sweet. But by that point, you can also get laser turrets and personal laser defenses. So it's a little nullified. But all right, here's the combat shotgun. My lasers are still gonna kill everything before I can, but it's an auto shotgun, and it really actually shreds nests. It shreds most things at this point pretty good. And the ammo is... I mean, the ammo lasts a lot longer than your normal magazines. Like, you can just let her rip for quite a while. Alright, let's try the uranium bullets with the submachine gun. Oh, shit. That's pretty good, too. That might be better, but it should be better. It's definitely harder to get. Let me turn off the lasers. Just so we can get an idea of just the bullets. Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. Still not better than the lasers, but pretty good. Now, keep in mind, that is with almost all of the like projectile damage ones and weapons shooting speed ones. But yeah, it's pretty good. And if you put this in like the tank, it would probably really fucking shred. But yeah. Oh, there's also the rocket launcher. I used this for a little while to clear out the big worms that appear, because those the range on those is pretty nuts. And again, once you set up the production chain, it's fairly easy. Just keep supplied with rockets. Yeah, the shotgun is best for nests, or the spawners, rather than actually killing things. Maybe if you get to, like, some big, giant biters, it's good, but... yeah. Alright, so that's the combat thing. At this point, like, no bug really bothers me. Even if they hit, like, an outpost or something, and they destroy some stuff, like, robots just come in and rebuild everything. So it's all fine. Right, so... there's just a few things I want to talk about then before we, like, end. Let's talk about the actual bus, the base. Like I said, it was a little overkill, but overall I really do like the design. I can see absolutely why it's preferred by many people and why it's used to build mega bases, like, fairly easily. Assuming you plan things properly, and that is important. Assuming you plan things properly, it is, like, infinitely and easily expandable. As long as you keep the bus just continuing on horizontally. I guess you could turn the bus, but that's sounds rough. But yeah, I mean, you can just keep extending the bus, and it all just flows along. And then on the sides, yeah, like, you could just keep branching off, and then, you know, the branches of the bus just keep extending in that direction, and so on and so forth. Depending on how... I mean, your ability to plan and sort of design branches and production chains still comes into play. There are definitely things that I could have done better. Like this section, this is the science section, right? So this, I used some science blueprints, but I was only able to fit red, green, black, blue, and yellow in this block, so I had to put purple over here. I don't like that. That seems just wrong and bad to me. So I never got up to where Nilaus did science and planned out all his science, so I don't know the best way to do it. You're not really going to fit all your science into one block unless you do that, that just insane one. This one. If you do this one, yeah, you could. And I still would like to try this because the concept seems so interesting to me. With all the circuitry and stuff. And like, okay, so if you do this is every science, okay? This is all 5 sciences. Or all 6, I mean. In one block. Or in one tight section. So, say we put 4 of these in here. Each one is 5 labs. Kept fully stocked. That's the idea. With all this shit that I've got going on, I am powering... theoretically, I mean, if my production was all perfect, I have supply issues here and there. But I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20. So, had I just done the other one, 4 of them, that would have been 20 labs as well, and probably would just be better. So, I poo-pooed it at the time because I was like, oh, 5 labs. But no, it takes all this shit I got going on sprawled out to power, you know, that same amount of labs. And the other one, you know, I could just easily move over to another block. Or what have you. So, yeah, I kind of like the other design now, although I have not tried it. And I think the other design fucked me up initially with, like, just doing red and green and stuff without doing the whole package. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to tinker around with that a bit more. It's definitely fascinating. I would also, yeah, be really interested in trying a raw bus with only, like, ore and stuff going through, and then you have smelters everywhere. Assuming you set up automated smelter production fairly quickly, like, out the ass, it wouldn't be that bad. I just kind of like to see how it works with all of these raw blueprints. I don't know. I mean, just seeing this just really excites me. It's crazy. And this. Very exciting. So yeah, but I mean, the design overall, the bus design is really good. And it's awesome just seeing, like, saturated belts everywhere. But like he said, you're constantly going to be, like, going back and forth in order to solve, like, production issues. And figure, okay, how much of this do I need? And then, okay, how much of this do I need? Okay, and then how much of this do I need? The thing with the bus design, though, is that it's very easy to see where you have issues and where the bottlenecks are. So that's good. Like, we can see here that my copper past this point, the copper past this point is perfectly fine. Like, there's no issues with copper past this point. So that's good. And we can see past, like, this point, there's no issue with the green circuits. But we can see, looking at this, that this thing is not performing as it should because of lack of green circuits. So we clearly need to just get more over there. This one also not functioning due to green circuits. So bottom line is we need a lot more green circuits. So you go over here and see, okay, do I need to add more, or is it a production issue? Clearly it's a production issue. They're not getting cables because we don't have any copper. So we're running into just bad copper bottlenecks. Even though, I mean, it's all flowing in, and if we check this one is functioning perfectly fine. It's getting the full line from the smelters. This one is getting practically a full line, but not quite. So it's already starting to suffer right there. So it's definitely a production issue Hey, 1 million green circuits. So if we look over here at our smelter arrays, yeah, I only have 2. I could easily have added like 2 more. There's ore issues, but I have 2 dedicated copper mines out here. 1 here and 1 here. We'll get to the train network in a minute. But you can see that these are constantly functioning at full capacity. As far as I can tell, oh, these are not, because they can't. There's a bottleneck with placement. That's why I'm not crazy about this design. But I think maybe you need to upgrade to blue belts or something. I'm not sure. I have some other smelter, like here, electric furnace. Here's a wide design that I could try with electric furnaces. But I don't think that's actually good for my layout. So you could do electric furnace long. What? God, buttons. So this would be good if I wanted to switch to electric. But steel and electric furnaces have the exact same crafting rate by default. The only difference is, for one, electric doesn't require coal, which is good. But they take up more space, which is bad. This is actually the same amount of furnaces for both of these setups. The only real advantage to electric is that they can take modules, which we really haven't gone into at all throughout these videos, because it's a mid to late game kind of thing. Modules are these things. So you have speed module, efficiency module, productivity module. Speed increases the speed of the production by 20%. Efficiency lowers energy costs. I don't think these are used too often compared to the others. And productivity, basically every number of products that it creates, it's going to create an extra product or whatever. But it is a little slower and consumes a bunch more energy. So, you might, you know, load up all your electric furnaces with like productivity modules so they're cranking out more plates than normal in order to saturate a red belt or a blue belt or something like that. But really, bottom line here is just adding another smelter array, which I could very easily do. I mean, if I just went in and did, we'd probably have to delete this. If we went in here and said, okay, disassemble all this, just get rid of it. The robots will come in and they'll do their job, and then we could say, okay, and then I want, let's say steel. I could do electric, but whatever. And then we would just, yeah, plop this down. And now we will watch the robots as they build, which shouldn't take too long. My robotic network is not ideal or anything. And that was another thing that I made a mistake on that caused a bunch of headaches for a while. You remember when I laid down all the city block blueprints and they included the roboports? Like, perfectly laid out? And then when I was doing, like, the bus and stuff, I was like, ah, fuck it. And just, like, erased them and went over it and stuff because I wanted to keep going. Don't do that. That will cause you more headaches later as you have to then put them back in and, you know, work around your belts and erase belts and shit like that. So just plan on having the roboports from the start. All right, there they all go. Look at them. Look at them go. It's like they do move in herds. Yeah, so there you go. And then I would just have to hook up the ore connections, and that would be all good and well. And then we'd probably need more ore, but whatever. You can increase the request size and blah blah blah. All right, so that's all that. I think the messiest section is probably the production area, the hub. Because because this has been kind of expanded on in different ways by me, and I put in things, and I ripped out things when I didn't need them anymore, and this area has been customized a lot depending on what I wanted. The only sections that have really stayed the same is the starting one, the logistics hub. This has been good, and like this starting thing. But yeah, I added on this solar, the solar builder, the battery builders. So we've got a lot of solar panels. And this has been like just not functioning for a long time because I've had so many solar panels. Yeah, I mean, some other little things I modified or added. We had a whole section here just for like power armor building and module, or not module, but like for my energy shields and laser defenses and stuff. We had a whole little factory going for that. Then we had this, which was like, this was the nuclear factory, I think, but then I added on this electric furnaces stuff. Various like electric engines for the rocket, all sorts of stuff. And it's basically, it was like, when I would need something generated, I would need something assembled, and I would look around, I'd be like, okay, I need bricks, steel, and copper. Or whatever, some combination of ingredients. And I'd go down the line and I'd look like, okay, where does that already kind of assemble based on my other shit? Oh, right here is over here. This is a good spot. I'm going to plop this down. And then I just jerry-rig it all together. That's sort of how this section has been, but that's okay. I mean, it all functions for now. If I had a better grasp on design and planning and what I all needed in the future, this all could have been perfectly designed. So I didn't have to swap things out constantly, but there's not really a problem in swapping things out. Sometimes you just no longer need something. Okay, so that's all that. That brings us to the final... I mean, we'll get to the trains, but the science, right? So there's the 6 types of science: red, green, black, blue, yellow, purple. Then there's white science. But the thing is, white science, you do not need to beat the game. As you can see, we're not even going to research it, because it's just... we're going to be moving on. But how the game ends, the only way to win so far, is you have to assemble a rocket, as it kind of tells you at the start. And so that's the rocket silo. This is just something assembled. I have this assembly machine here that put together our rocket silo. We can see that it takes 1,000 steel. That's very simple at this point. 200 blue chips, also very simple. 200 electric engine units. That probably took the longest, but still not bad. 100 pipes and 1,000 concrete. I had already had a concrete system set up here for the nuclear stuff, so that was easy to just add on. Overall, it really did not take... probably took me like 10 minutes to make the rocket silo, so that was that. So you plop down the silo wherever you feel necessary. It doesn't have to be... I had this very... I put together this very centralized, beautiful location, but this is not necessary. And how the rocket works is you need to construct parts. You need to construct a whole bunch of parts. Each part you construct in the silo adds to its progress. We're at 84%. Each part is 10 rocket control units, 10 low-density structures, and 10 rocket fuel. And that's all, pretty, high-end stuff that you have to create. So for the rocket control units, that's down here. So that's just speed modules, which are green and red circuits, and those are put into this machine along with some blue chips, and that makes the control unit. It's pretty simple. It's just all 3 chips come together in one location, and there you go. Simple. Low density structure. That I had set up as part of my power armor creation. So that's over here. That is 20 copper, 2 steel, 5 plastic. Really, pretty low cost in all things considered. But each one takes 20 seconds to craft by default. We have speed modules and stuff. But yeah, so that takes a while. And then the rocket fuel. That's in the oil section. Because each rocket fuel takes 20 light oil, which is simple, easy, and then 20 solid fuel. You can make solid fuel in a few different ways. We are primarily making it with petroleum gas, because I have way too fucking much of it. And really, I have way too fucking much solid fuel. So it's just a time-consuming thing. Takes 30 seconds to craft. So we've got 6 of those assemblers going. All those things come together and gets put into the silo, and you get another percentage. Or you need 10 of each, and then you get another percentage. So it takes a while unless you have just a lot of production. And I could have easily expanded this to make it go faster, but I knew that I needed to spend some time talking anyways. 87%. So once that hits 100%, we can launch the rocket, and upon doing so, we win the game. You can keep playing, though. Because you technically win the game, because your goal is to leave the planet, although, you know, you don't... whatever. But if you keep playing, you can then instead have space science packs. And so if you send if you put together a satellite, which is 100 processing units, 100 low density structure, 50 rocket fuel, 100 solar panel, 100 accumulator, 5 radars, if you do all that, you put the satellite into the rocket, because you make like another one or whatever, you keep making them. Then in return, you get 1,000 white science. And white science lets you do the infinite science, or the infinite research. So all these final things like energy weapon damage, physical projectile damage, your worker robot speeds, these all can continue infinitely. You can keep researching these to keep adding on. I'm sure it's a very small bonus, although this is plus 65%, but I don't know. I imagine there's diminishing returns, but I don't know. It's infinite, right? And so that's what people do. They keep putting in rockets, they keep putting in satellites, they keep doing this, they keep researching, and so on and so forth. And so that's why the mega base definition is 1,000 science per minute. So that means among your 6 normal science colors, you have to consume 1,000 per minute. Or whatever. I don't know if it's produce or consume. I don't remember. But then also you need to get 1,000 white science per minute, which means you need to launch a rocket with a satellite every minute. From what I understand. This is astronomical, by the way. I mean, it's that seems insane to me. And I guarantee you I will never do that. Like, it's just, that's not, it's not really my thing. Because if you just look at how little science, like, I'm producing, like my purple science. Does this have a number associated with it or no? Okay. If this was running constantly, this purple one, which it isn't, I have a red shortage, I think, but if it was running constantly, that's 45 per minute. So to get 1,000, I would need, oh my god, what is that? It's over 20, right? 25, maybe? I would need 25 of these things. This thing right here, this whole setup. 25 of these running constantly. Full production. I can't even keep one in full production right now. And this is the size of my base. So, no, I can't really fathom 1,000 per minute, because that's 25 of those purples, that's 25 of these blues, 25 of the yellows, 25 of the military, 25, no, less of the green, red and green. But then, yeah, like space science. This is 45 a minute. So you would need 25 of these. It's insane. I mean, I applaud anybody that goes for that and does that and all that stuff and makes a mega base. But holy shit. I mean, you're talking about weeks and weeks and weeks spent managing and building and expanding your base, your factory. I mean, it's really just a long-term endeavor. So, I mean, that's what some people go for. But like I said, just to beat the game does not really require much. That requires like one of each of these modules of science. All right, 91%. Let's talk about the train network. The last thing, for the most part, after I got it all sorted and figured out, it has run pretty swimmingly. It's been pretty good. It's very nice. I like it a lot. But from what I understand, Factorio, the base game, has been kind of updated and changed a little bit with trains to make it easier for people to do things similar to LTN without requiring the mod. Like, a big thing now that you can just do in the base game is you have all of your... You just have all of your mines, like have all your copper mines, all of those train stops named the same thing. And then you have like all of your copper, you have your copper drop-off point named something, or another, you know, multiple drop-off points named the same thing. And so then your trains will just go to whichever one is available or something. I mean, I didn't really look into it because I knew I was doing LTN, but you can replicate a lot of the functionality that you might need just in the base game without messing around with any mods. And if it wasn't for Brian's Trains, this blueprint book that handles all of like the circuitry and signaling and all that, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even fucking bother with LTN. No way in hell would I have done that, but with Brian's Trains, it's not too difficult to set up. So, here we have where I'm standing. This is our requester stations for ore. This is our drop-off stations. This is a 4-train station. So, I only have 3 stations here, but I could have added a 4th one here. It was eventually going to be coal, I think, if I needed it, but I didn't. So, this one right here, this is a 2-car station. So, it's 2 cargo trains. 2 cargo... What do they call that? Wagons. 2 cargo wagons here, because this is just stone, and that's already probably more than I need. But for copper and iron, those are both 4 cargo wagons. So those are 4 car stations. Because they deal in a lot of ore. And, so, LTN controls all of the trains, schedules, routes, all that sort of stuff. And basically all you do is you set up the requester station, which is this. That's where the drop-off happens. And you go over here to this little thing, and you say, okay, this is how much of this product I want. So here I have 12,000 copper ore. I don't understand how it all works with, like, the buffer chests and the inserters, and I don't understand how it all works. But basically, you just put in a number there. And, yeah, 12,000 probably is pointless to put in there because really we just want 8,000 because that's the max you can put in 4 cargo wagons. But anyways, you put in what you want there and a number, and whenever the system detects that you are running low, like right now, it will create a delivery from one of your mines that has enough product and to the drop-off point for that amount of that material. So now it will send a train out to that mine, pick it up, come here, drop it off, and then the train will go back to the depot, which is over here. So this is where all your trains sit until they get told a delivery to make. And again, the system knows the length of each train, the length of each station, and so what train is best suited for each delivery job, and so on and so forth. So we've got, we've got some that are 2, some that are 4. We've got one that's 1. We've got some fluid wagons for oil and stuff. And there you go. There's another. We need another ore delivery. Even though ore is still pumping out, it can tell that we're going to need a lot more. So it makes another order for 8,000. And the train gets sent over to the mine to pick it all up. It's awesome to see. I mean, really is. It really is awesome. But at the same time, like this one, this is a train that I set up just on my own when I needed some coal input. So this is just a very basic train that runs from this spot at the start over around the base to this big coal section here, big giant coal patch. And it's all set up. It's very simple. It's just, hey, go to the mine, go to the coal spot, wait till you get full inventory, then come back here, wait till you get empty, and then go back and forth forever. And this train has run since, like 25 in-game hours or something like that. This thing has just been running no problems whatsoever. Sometimes it runs out of fuel because I never bothered to just set up like an inserter system to insert fuel into it. But other than that, it just runs fine, and I never run out of coal, ever. So, like, you don't need LTN at all, unless you're really dealing with some insane shit. For the size of my base and what I'm dealing with, it's really not necessary, but it is very cool. And, yeah, because, like, if I'm gonna lay track, and if I'm gonna set up my whole railway system, I might as well use Brian's train's blueprints, because I like the double track system with the loop arounds and stuff. It makes everything really easy. And it all looks good, and it's all very functional, and the side stations, and I mean, it's really a nice system. And so at that point, you may as well just use LTN, because it's already designed and set up for it. There's the initial hassle of setting up the depot and things like that. But once you get it going, it's so fucking easy to just add on more stations for like mines and things like that. It's just like, okay, I need another copper mine, blah, 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 blah. You place down some blueprints, the robots handle it, boom, you got another copper mine that's just ready to go and ready to fulfill. And you place down some blueprints for trains, and it'll just make some new trains, and so on and so forth. So it's a really nice system. It's not required, but... and again, if it wasn't for Brian's trains, I would not fucking bother. But since I have it, it's good. So I recommend it, I guess. With Brian's trains. That Brian guy, he knows his trains, no doubt about it. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I think much like RimWorld, I just prefer the early to mid game. I don't know, I don't know if it's just like a management thing where I like having less to manage. And, like, threats are more serious or something, everything's just smaller scale. Or if the early to mid game has a lot more variety potential and, like, different ways of setting things up and blah, blah, blah. Whereas the later game is all about just more of the same. Just expanding more of the same. Like, bugs are not an issue at this point, and it's all just pure expansion of just, okay, more of this, more of this, more of this, more of this, more of this. And I know, in a sense, that's Factorio. And I think, in the long run, probably Factorio will not have the same... longevity for me compared to RimWorld, because RimWorld just has so much more variety to it. But no, I mean it's a fantastic. Yeah, I've been nonstop addicted to this shit. But yeah, I can already tell, like, I'm never gonna go for a mega base or anything like that. I'd rather mess around with mods or the randomizer or Death World setups or, you know, different sort of things like that than go for the mega base. But I probably knew that going in. That's just not something that I don't spend that much time on one thing. But alright, we've got our rocket. We can put in something into the cargo hold. You'd think you put yourself in, and you actually can, apparently. If you put a vehicle in the cargo and then you enter the rocket or enter the vehicle, you actually do get to fly off. But apparently there's another Easter egg and an achievement if you put a raw fish in. And since we're doing this, and who knows when I'll beat the game again, we may as well just get the achievement. Alright, launch. And it's funny, because we're not in it, you know? Like, we're supposed to be leaving. Yeah. There you go. Whew. 35 hours, 44 minutes. Not exactly a speed run, but yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Killed 1,000. Well, I killed 4,122 trees, 1,300 medium biters. I killed more medium biters than small biters. It's pretty interesting. I killed more medium worms than small worms. That's because I think at a certain point, I just, you know, you go out there and you just slaughter everything. And by that point, the small stuff is mostly evolved out. So that's probably why. And all these other things, these are all things that I just accidentally crashed my vehicle into, like my tank when driving through the base. So chemical plants, and there's probably like, yeah, big electric pole, small, these took a lot. 12 big electric poles I smashed into. But yeah, there you go. All right, let's finish. Yeah, so Factorio. It's a hell of a game. Yeah, I never thought I would actually beat Factorio, but here we are. So I think for now, this video series is going to come to a conclusion. Just because I haven't uploaded any of this so far, so I just want to see what people think of it, if they have any interest in seeing me play more of it. I'm certainly going to be playing more. I'm going to start a new game right now, but I think at the very least, you will definitely see some Factorio when I do randomizer stuff. So yeah, Factorio randomized with Hollow Knight and Super Metroid and, you know, things like that. That'll be a lot of fun. Like having to deal with random tech, you know, and you might not have all the sort of stuff you're used to, and you have to work around and accommodate it and things like that. It sounds pretty interesting to me. I also am really interested in diving into some mods. So far, all I've used is just some quality of life stuff, but there's some pretty interesting stuff in here, like that adds boats with mortars. This one, it's a prequel where you're an android terraforming planets and seeding them with life. Replaces all recipes and technology. No coal, oil, wood, biters, or free oxygen. This is really interesting. What else was there? There's the space exploration, where you actually go into space to different, like, moons and stuff like that. And this adds just a whole other shebang of stuff. Combat mechanics overhaul. Walls block most enemy projectiles such as spitter and enemy shotgun shells. There was one that like really changed how bugs work. There's grappling gun mods. Rocket turrets. I mean, there's just so many cool mods I get to dive in now that I beat it. Space trains. Hold on, let me just check downloads. All of Bob's mods that just add like more stuff to the game. I think Bob's mods are sort of like vanilla expanded for RimWorld, although I don't think they're quite as ubiquitously highly regarded. But yeah, I mean, this seems pretty good stuff. There's the space exploration mod. Build cargo rockets to launch stuff into space. Ride a rocket into space yourself. Start spacewalking. Build an orbital space platform. Build a spaceship tile by tile. All sorts of stuff like that. Alien biomes is definitely one I'm going to add right away because that seems awesome. Bob's enemies. AI industry, advanced autonomous industry, adds motors, powered offshore pumps, burner labs, and more, alters tech and recipes. I mean, there's just Factorio 2, this is a very popular one. An overhaul mod focusing on endgame technologies and moderately increased complexity, widely regarded as the best introduction to the modded Factorio scene. I may have to check that out. I was looking for the one that really modifies... Oh, here it is. Rampant. Improves enemies' tactics by using potential fields, pheromones, allowing probing of defenses, retreats, reinforcements, counterattacking, breaching raids, rallying deathcry, and player hunting. Uses blockable biter projectiles, adds new enemies. This is the one I really want to check out. Because some people turn biters off. They never play with them. They don't like them. They just want to build their factory and not want to be bothered. And it's like, that's insane to me. That's the game, is dealing with the biters. So I really want to, you know, ramp that up. And I want to play on like Death World and stuff. Because like I said, just beating the game is not that difficult. So I want to struggle a little bit more on that front, rather than I just want to sit here and design my mega base and make billions of science every minute. No, I want to struggle to beat the game. And generally, the only struggle on default settings to beat the game is actually just designing a non-shit factory. And I think I've sort of surpassed that point now. So yeah, I'm going to be messing around with stuff like this. And then, if people watch this series and they want more just normal Factorio non-randomizer stuff, then perhaps we'll do another video series with, like, mods and cranked up and definitely more exciting. But, you know, let me know. Let me know if you like watching Factorio or not. It's certainly, you know, a little dry, a little repetitive, but it is a very addicting game overall. So I'm highly glad that I found it. Or that I, not found it, I rediscovered it. And really, everything clicked. So that was great. But alright, for now, my name is Mangg. The game you've been watching has been Factorio. I'll see you fine folks around.